Akeem, gun safety. Beginners. Take 6. Marker.
Slide and roll, up and down, but I get up. The numbers crunching, no sit-ups. I grew up and got dripped up. Purple label, my get up. That's 101, not a one and done. Month to month, and there's more to come. I told Cushy, let's run it up. Now it's millions on millions. Yeah, none of my cash can fold. None of my cars are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold. None of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital. The dash is digital. Go. Digital. Digital. The cash is digital. The dash is digital. Run it up. Digital.
So guys, remember, like now, if you can see that I had released this little button here, right? I pulled it down, so the slide went back in place. Now, if I would have had a magazine in the gun, which I did not have, right? But if this magazine would have been in the gun and I did that, pulled this down so the slide can go back in place, it would have put a round in a chamber, okay? Because this would have been, let me see this, I'm putting the mag in there, back in the gun. Now you heard that click because the mag locked in place, right? So if I would have did that, pulled this down and the slide went back in place, it would have took one of these rounds out of the clip, right? And it would have went into the chamber. It would have went into that little hole I just showed you when I had the gun open. Now that the gun is locked in place, like the slot, now if you look, you don't see that opening. It closed. There's a door, a window that locks in place when a slide is closed because the bullet is in place in the inside. Well, it's not. I just put the mag in here. There's no bullet in the chamber, but I'm just saying this window closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the magazine, right? On this particular handgun, most handguns are, I want to make sure I articulate this right. With a lot of handguns, they similar in a lot of ways, but different also in a lot of ways, right? They all had different, they all been designed different from one another for a variety of reasons, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of similarities. So what I mean by that is, like on most guns, you're gonna have most release buttons. It's gonna be on the right hand side of the gun, right? It's the right hand side, and then you have the left hand side, right? I mean, you have the right hand side and you have the left hand side, right? So when you holding a gun, right? I'm gonna show you when you're holding a gun. Like right now, I have my hand. You know, I have my 3 fingers, right? I have my 3 fingers gripped around the grip, and then my thumb locked in place, right? Now, the other thing, what I like about this particular gun, now some guns, every gun is made a little different. With this gun, when I grip it, right, you see my 3 fingers, right? Because I have four fingers, right? So with my 3 fingers, right, got the 3 fingers around the grip, and then I got my thumb around the this part right here, all right, like on the grip, right? It's made like this. It's designed this way with that little groove like that for you to put your thumb right there, to relax your thumb there, and that's to lock your thumb in place, right? So it's like this. It's my way. This is what feels comfortable for me. It's my way in holding the gun, right? Now, some guns I used to have a service weapon that was made by Remington. Remington is another company that makes 9mm. And then you got Winchesters. Winchesters normally like rifles and stuff, or shotguns, but I believe they may make handguns too. But with Remington, the difference between Remington, Smith and Wesson, is some guns you have to be careful because the slide here, when you put your finger on the trigger, when you put your finger on the trigger, and you want to pull the trigger, there's a lot of coil. The coil is when you pull the trigger, the gun fired, and it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of that, right? When you're at a range. So when you pull a trigger and the gun goes off, the slide come back. Some guns are made to where if your finger is in the way, you want to always make sure your thumb or your finger is not in the way of the slide when the slide come back, because it can pinch your finger or your thumb, right? But on this gun, I like how it's made. It doesn't really allow you to do that. Your finger is out of the way of the slide because of how it's designed. So it's not a lot of room for your finger to get pinched when the slide come back because of the design of the gun, right? So so again, I'm gonna do this. So no, actually, I'm gonna hit this little button on the side. It's a little button on the side. It's always on this side of the gun because this is where your finger at, your thumb. So it's a little button here, right on the side of the guard that protects the trigger, right? So if you look in, right, I'm gonna hit this little button right here that's on the side to release the magazine, right? And when you put the magazine back in the gun, right, you're gonna hear that click because they're locked in place. So I'm gonna hit it again to drop the magazine. It's that little button right here on the side that you press in to release, right? And I'm gonna release it so I don't put a round in the chamber. And again, these little grooves here that is embedded into the slide, right? It's there to support when you grab it. So if it was all smooth, then if your hand's sweaty and you're trying to do that racket is what they call it, you may slip. Your hand may slip. So what I do, like, you know, I'll grab right up in here and you can do like that, right? That's the slide. And then you can do like that. There's no bullet in it, obviously. And then I just pull the trigger, right? Now what I want to show you is when you're dealing with a gun, remember, never point it at anybody. Everything is about safety. You never want to point it towards no one, right? Always treat it like if it's loaded, right? Now, if you're not about to use it, always have your finger on the side, not on the trigger. Don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Like if you're at the range, even if you're at the range, and instructors will tell you this, you never want to have your finger on the trigger. When an instructor is like explaining something to you, whatever the situation is, if you're not ready to use, always have it on the side like this. So I have my fingers gripped around the grip, and I have, it's a little groove piece right here that's designed for your finger to rest at. You know, it's always like that. That's how you hold a gun. That's the appropriate way or proper way to hold your gun when you're dealing with a gun. If you're not ready to use it, always have your finger up this way. Is right here the lock that locks the slide when you rack it back. It locks it in place. This here, I'm going to show you in a minute. This is actually what release the slide when you want to clean out the gun. This trigger is an 8-pound trigger. It takes about 8 pounds of pressure on this particular gun to pull the trigger. They design it this way so it doesn't make it easy for the gun to go off. Now some guns, and it always has a serial number at the bottom of the gun, right? Now some guns, like I said before, every gun is designed different, right? Some guns actually you could barely touch the trigger and that thing will go off, and it's designed that way for a reason with those particular guns. You have a beautiful grip design on this piece here. I like this. I just turned it over. You have a beautiful grip design, man. You have these ruffles on it that helps the comfort when your hand is gripping around the gun. You know, in case it's sweating, but it's basically based on comfort and stuff like that. Nice grip there that you have, right? So let me get into it. Now you see, like I said, it's locked. You don't see this open, this little door here. When the slide is closed and in place, it locks everything in there. So when you pull the trigger and a round goes off, this door, the slide will go back. The door opens to release the casing, and then reset another round, and then it'll reset another round into the chamber, right? You see the hole? So I go back with the slide, but you have a front sight, this little piece here called front sight. I want to make sure I don't forget to mention that. And you have a rear sight, your rear sight, okay? That's your rear sight, right? And then, you have your rear sight and your front sight, right? And your rear sight is there to direct you with your front sight. So when you're shooting, right? When you're shooting at a range, remember you always have your finger right there rested until you're ready to put your finger on the trigger to pull, right? So say you're shooting, right? And this is your rear sight, and that's your front sight. Your front sight is what you use for the target, right? This is what you use for the target. So when you're at a range and you're shooting the target, you use your front sight to line up wherever this goes, this front sight, that's where your bullet is going to go. In order to get this off, in order to get the slide off, there's these little release buttons on each side, right, that I showed you, these little release buttons. And what you want to do when you want to release the slide, you got to kind of pull it back a little bit, and then at the same time when you pull it back, like when you pull the slide back, you have to pull these down, and then it'll release the slide. See what I'm saying? And now it's a little dirty in there. Haven't cleaned it in a while. But now as you look at it, the slide is off, right? This is the slide, and now the slide is off, right? Now inside the slide, you have a spring, right? There's a spring on this. I feel like I'm putting too much light. That's too much light. I want to lower the light so you can see, because it make it. All right. So now on this slide here that I just took off the gun, right? The barrel is right here, right? There's no bullet, obviously. The slide is off the gun, right? This is the gun right here. As you can see, you see the difference, right? So normally it would be like this, right? It would be like that. So the slide is off, right? And there's a spring in there, and all you have to do is take the spring out, and there's a spring right here. So you can easily just pull the spring out, right? I just took the spring out. There's a spring that goes in there, right? And you can't get it wrong, because just pay attention to what you're doing as you're taking it apart so you can know how to put it back together, right? Just make sure, if you want, you can take pictures of each little thing that you do, right? But there's a spring, and if you look here, right, that's the barrel, right? And then you have this little hole here where the spring go. It's designed, so it's kind of hard. It's like a little thing there, that fits right into that hole, right? It fits right there into that hole when you put the spring back in. So this is the spring to the gun, and then this is the actual barrel, right? So I take the barrel out. Now look at the slide. That's that slide, right? Where the barrel went. I just took that off the gun, and it's really simple. That's it, and that's all to it. You break the gun down. It's the barrel, right? It's the barrel that the projectile goes through. They have many names for all these different pieces of the gun, right? The projectile is normally the bullet that goes through the barrel, right? So as you can see, there's nothing on the other end. There's nothing in there, right? There's no bullet stuck in there or nothing like that, right? Because you can see straight through it, all right? And this is the barrel that comes out of the slide. That's the barrel that fits in there. And I took out the spring. See that? Took out the spring. So now you have cleaning solution, right? That's this cleaning solution that's called Hoppus, all right? If you want to look at that, that's cleaning solution. And here's the name, okay? Hoppus 9. There's also some cleaning solution called solvent, right? So when you get into this stuff, right, gun carrying, taking care of your gun is very crucial. My gun a little dirty. It's not bad. It's a little dirty because the last time I shot, I didn't clean it instantly right away because I ran out of like cleaning kit. So you can get cleaning kits from Walmart. You can get it from the gun store. I actually bought this. This is a cleaning kit I bought actually from Walmart actually a couple of days ago. And you can go to a gun store, or like I said, you can go to a place like Walmart that sells stuff for guns. You can clean it. It's a kit. This here is cleaning solution. It's liquid, and it's designed to protect the gun. There's a reason why they create gun cleaning solution for guns, because it protects the gun, keep it from corrosion and rusting out and stuff like that. But a lot of the stuff comes in a kit. It's a kit. So I'm going to take some of the things out of this kit because I want to show you. Now in the kit, there's some things that comes with the kit, right? In the kit, you have this, and you have a few different types of brushes, right? It's like, you know, you can see the brush, right? Little, what is it, like little metal brush pieces, but you can see the brush, right? And then you have the cloth, like you have the cloth little brush. Now this the one I would use, right? It's a little brush, and on the end, right, it's a brush that you can screw. Now this comes together, right? This is the kit, right? This I just took out of the little package, right? So they have the stem here, this thing here, right? You can install it, right? This the little handle, right? Part of the kit, and then this the little extension that you can screw into the handle, right? And that thing just steady turning. Okay, there it is. So you have this. Hold on, let me screw it in. It's like just steady turning. Will not tighten up. Tighten up. All right, there it is. So this is the handle, right? It's the handle. It's the handle, and it's the little stem, right? And then you got the brush, right? And then you can see it. You can see the hole in there. This brush, you screw it into that hole, right? You can screw this brush into that hole, right? This is a kit for the gun, right? So what this is, what did I do with the barrel? So what this is what you do is designed to go inside the barrel, right? That's how you clean the barrel. You see that? How I just put that through there. It's like a snake. You're snaking it through the barrel. You can wet this with the solution. That's what you're supposed to do, right? So I'm opening the solution up, and it's just, you want to damp it. You don't really want to, like, I'm just going to damp it a little bit. I'm just going to damp it a little. I don't want to really soak it, right? I don't really want to soak it. and then you could just take this through. You could just take this through the barrel. I put a little too much on it. You can take it through the barrel because you don't want to make it too wet. You want to make sure you dry it off, that it's dry. So I'm gonna put that there. But then also in the kit, they have little wipes, like little napkins, so you can wipe it down, right? So you don't want it to be, you don't want to leave it like wet, soaking wet, right? But this is the barrel from the gun. You just want to make sure you clean it and stuff like that. You clean it good. You can go see now if you look at this part of the barrel, right? That's like little black debris right there, right? That's gunpowder, right? So this is basically what this brush is for. This brush right here is to get like the debris that's stuck, that's dried up. You use this steel wiring brush for stuff like that, right? You know, because I had some gunpowder that dried up and it got a little hard. I kind of soaked this a little more than I was expecting, but yeah, this is how you clean. It's the barrel. You know, you have little napkins and, you know, little cloth that comes with the kit for you to wipe it off and wipe it down. And I mean, you could use any type of like cloth that you have in the house or at home, but you just want to, that's how you clean it. You just clean it, wipe it down real good, you know, and then in the inside, like I said, I think I put a little too much solution on the brush, because when I stuck this in there, you know, it ended up dripping, squeezing a lot of the solution out of the brush. It was squeezing a lot of the solution out of the brush. So you just want to make sure you damp it. You don't have to drown. You don't have to drown the brush inside the solution. Just put enough solution on the brush, because the brush will hold a lot of the solution. And you may not think that there's a lot in there, but it may be. But you don't need a lot. That's it. It's really simple. It's not a lot to it, you know, just to clean it. So guys, on this barrel from my gun that I just took apart, I believe this barrel is 4 inches and 5.2 kilometers or something. But the barrel isn't really that long. So use the brush to get in there. I'm going to show you something else you can do also. You can improvise also. I'll show you. So I want to clean this. Now, as I'm explaining everything to you, since I have the gun apart and broken down, this is the solution, right? The gun solution. And again, this is the name of it, okay? And there's a variety of different gun solution. I want to mention about this is there are some that's flammable and there are some that's non-flammable. Now me, I don't want nothing sitting around my house or office or whatever, or studio, that's flammable. I don't like having things in my house that's flammable. Even if it's like chemicals to clean the house, I keep it in safe places, right? So this is non-flammable, right? But they do have some that's flammable. Now what I want to show you is I went and got a Q-tip, right? This is a regular Q-tip that you can put, that you use to clean out your ears, right? So with this Q-tip, I'll just dip it a little bit in the gun cleaning solution, right? Remember, I don't want to overdo it. I'm just going to dip it in there. I don't really want to drown the Q-tip into the gun solution. So I'll take this, the slide, and I'll just go in between these grooves right here to clean it out, to wipe it down. And it's dirty. Now look at that. You see that? See the dirt? That's gunpowder. See that? So I'm going in here to clean it. Cleaning it because the last time I shot, the last time I used this gun to qualify, I was in the private protection. I was doing a lot of private protection stuff at the time, and I was working for some of the big fishes out there. And then, like I said, you have to, qualify every so many months, every 6 months, and so the last time I shot, I didn't clean this. Now you should, every time you go and you shoot, you should clean your gun. Most people, see how dirty that is? See that? That's all gunpowder. Now I'm gonna use the other side that's clean. This is the other side that's clean. Now I'm gonna dip this other clean side into the gun solution again. Okay, I'm not trying to drown it, but you just basically inside of here, just wipe it all down as best as you can. Get all the gunpowder. It's very crucial to keep your gun clean, because believe it or not, you may not understand the psychology behind it, but when gunpowder builds up in a gun, it can cause malfunctions, and it can cause your gun to jam if there's a lot of gunpowder over time built up inside your gun. It can make it dysfunctional, and you don't want that. If you're in a stress situation, man, I'm just showing you as best as I can, what it is that I'm doing. I'm just wiping the inside down. That's it, right? Of the slide here. So, it's really simple and real easy. I'm showing you as best as I can. I'm kind of in a small confined space right here, so I'm trying to use my little space as best as I can. But you can see all the gunpowder residue, right? That was in the inside of my slide, right? So actually, I'm gonna go grab a few more Q-tips. Like I said, there's a variety of gun cleaning kits you can get from gun stores, Walmart, stores like that provides that, right? You can improvise, right? These Q-tips did not come with my cleaning kit, but there are some that may have them, and there's different size Q-tips. So I'm still cleaning the slide in a bit. I'm gonna grab the gun itself and clean the inside of that. But that's really all you want to do is just go over it, the inside of the interior and stuff like that, just to clean the gunpowder. Because remember, when the gun is enclosed, all the gunpowder, a lot of the gunpowder, when it disperses from when you hit the trigger and the projectile comes out the casing, all the gunpowder disperse. It disperses out, and it's all over the place inside the gun. So over time, if you don't clean the gun, it can cause malfunctions. It could jam on you, and you don't want that problem. You want your gun to operate, as smoothly as possible. So yeah, man, you just want to clean the inside of it as best as you can to get all the debris out of it, because you want your piece to work as smoothly as possible. And then you can wipe it down. Just make sure you don't, whatever you're using, whether if it's look at how dirty that is. That's gunpowder. So you want to make sure when you're using the cleaning solution that you're not leaving it soaking wet in the inside or nothing. Make sure it's dry and nice and clean, But again, this stuff is designed and built to protect the gun, so there's no corrosion, and it doesn't rust or nothing like that. And this is pretty good stuff, that you could use to clean the gun. Go through it with the little rag here. And again, if you buy a gun cleaning kit, sometimes there's a variety of kits with a variety of different items inside the kit for different reasons and different jobs as regards to cleaning. So you pick what's best fit for you. But as a gun owner, you got to take care of your gun, keep it clean, so your weapon take care of you when you really need it. So when it comes to that time to defending yourself and protecting yourself or your family, you good. So wipe down the inside, clean it, you know. You want to keep the outside also looking good. I'm going to grab another little cloth here, and little cloth there, and I might grab a little solution. I might dip this, the little cloth in some of the solution a little bit to wet it, dip it to wet it, and just kind of wipe the outside as well, so it can look good. Yeah, I'll even wipe down the outside of the slide, keep it looking good, presentable, keep that little shine on it, little nice brand new look. Yeah, you definitely, after you shoot, you want to make sure you clean it. Most people don't like to clean the gun after they shoot. Most people don't normally clean a gun after the range, for whatever reason. Maybe they just don't feel like it. After you went to a gun range and you shot whatever rounds you shot that day, whether if it's 100, 200, 300, 400 rounds, after you do your exercise or training at the range, whether if it's indoor or outdoor, I guess most cats don't want or not really in the mood to be cleaning, to break the gun down, open it up, and clean it, right? But it's best to do that if you up for it. So yeah, whether if it's right away after you shoot or the next day, but it's best to keep your piece clean as much and as best as possible after shooting. I'm going to put that there. Now I'm going to take this. This is the actual gun, as you can see, right? It's this mantle, right? This is how it looks with the slide off. Let me move this so you can see it. This is how it looks, right, with the slide off. It is very light. This is what's heavy. This is what's heavy. This and the magazine, when you have the magazine in it, right? When you have the magazine in it, right? And you can see inside. You can literally see inside with the slide off. When I put the magazine in there, right? When I put the magazine in the gun, right? You can actually see it, right? And this is when you put the magazine in it, the slide would normally be up here, right? When it's connected, and the chamber would be up here. Now the mag is not all the way in, right? So, but if it was all the way in, I'm gonna go ahead and put it all the way in, all right? So you just heard it click. So now you see how far up it is now, because the mag is all the way in. Now when the slide is on, when it's all connected, right? When it's all connected, the slide is back in place, and the barrel and everything, it'll be in the chamber, right? And then you have a firing pin that would normally hit. You have a firing pin that would be in here that would normally hit the primer. The primer is the back of the bullet, right? The firing pin is built into the slide. This is the slide that I took off the gun, right? I took this off the gun, right? See that? I took this off the gun, right? The slide, right? So inside the slide is the firing pin, right? Everything works together. If you look inside the slide, the firing pin is right here. You see like a little hole right there. That's the firing pin when it's connected, when the slide's connected on the gun. So the firing pin is right up in there, man. So when you hit the slide, this is like, that's the firing pin right there. And then when it's all connected, it makes sense. But that's the firing pin right in there. And that will hit normally the primer that's on the back of the bullet that would unite the gunpowder and send out the projectile, which is the bullet from the casing, right? You know, I put the mag in there, as you can see it, while the slide is off. Remember that little hole right here? When it's in there, it would normally be in a chamber. So when I put it back together, then it'll make more sense, right? Now that I broke it down, you kind of get the understanding, right? But it's taken apart, so now you can see the actual gun, right? The inside. So I'm gonna wipe the inside of this down, clean out the gunpowder because it's dirty. It's all dirty up in there. All right. Let me release the mag, and now it's out. You can see straight through it. See straight through it. See that? So it's real simple, guys. This is to all my beginners, right? You gotta learn about your gun. You gotta learn about your weapon. You have a serial number at the bottom of the gun. On this particular brand, there's a serial number on it. All guns have serial numbers, right? So now I'm gonna take another. I have this end. See, this is all dirty. It's gunpowder. Now I have this end, as you can see, it's clean. Now I'm gonna put the gun, sit it here, dip a little bit my Q-tip into the solution, not too much, and it's still clean, as you can see. Now I'm gonna take this. Now watch this. I'm gonna take this and watch how dirty this thing. Watch, it's really, really dirty. It's real dirty. Look at that. Cleaning the inside of the gun, man. Look at the dirt. And that's really all to it. You just open up the gun to clean it, get all the debris out, all the gunpowder, from shooting it. Because like I said, when you pull the trigger and the firing pin hit the primer to unite the gunpowder to make the projectile come out, which is the bullet, all the gunpowder, the burst inside, and it just goes all over the place, man. So you want to clean this thing out as best as you can. Go in there and just wipe it all down, man, as good as you can. That's how you do it. That's pretty much how you clean the gun, right? And make sure all your components is clean. You just wipe it down very carefully. You don't have to be rough with it or nothing like that. And look at that. Look how dirty that is. Look at that. So that's really what it's about, man. Just cleaning the gun. Dip that. I'll show you a couple more times. Just going over it, cleaning it all out. The inside. And that's really all you're doing, man. You're just cleaning it all out, getting all that debris. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. So my gun is pretty dirty. And I want to show you this. Remember the brush, the long extension? You got the handle, you got the extension that came with the gun cleaning kit, and a little brush on the end that I'm using. I can also use this to go inside where the mag go. to wipe it down and wipe it out. You know, just be real gentle with it. Go in there and just try to clean the gunpowder as much and as best as you can. And that's really it, you know. Just want to make sure it's nice and clean in the inside. And then little areas that may be hard to reach, that's where you use the Q-tip, you know. Just gotta improvise, use your common sense, intelligence. That's it. There's nothing to it, baby. It's real easy, real simple. Again, it's your boy Akeem. I love doing these type of videos, man. I love taking my time to educate. Something important like this, man, you can't rush these type of videos. You just may have to break the videos down and do a couple of these in sections and stuff like that, right? But I just want to make sure that I teach you guys that I do a good job with, like, showing you how all this works, breaking it down, stuff like that. So always treat the gun like if it's loaded, even when it's not loaded. Never point it at no one. Okay, now I'm about to put it back together. Just making sure I'm not forgetting nothing. So that's pretty much it, man. You know, I'm gonna take the barrel and I'm gonna reassemble. Oh, I forgot to clean my spring. The spring is a little dirty too, so really all I have to do is just kind of wipe the spring down. Just wipe it down. Just go around it, rotate around it with the little cloth that I wet. You know, it's really nothing to it. It's real simple, you know, and that's the spring. So I'm about to put it back together. Yeah, so it's basically not much to it, right? So now the slide here, right? When you want to put, remember, this is, when they show you, right? It's the slide, right? That goes on the gun. So to put it back together, you just put the barrel, put it upside down, put the barrel back in it, right? It's the barrel. It's back in position, right? As you can see. So again, I'll show you. This is the barrel. This is, see that? That's the barrel. So when it's in place, this is the part that locks in place to close that gap, right? Where the shell or the casing comes out, right? That's the barrel. So I just put the barrel back in place. See that? Now I'm going to put the spring back in place. There's a little hole here where the spring goes, right? And there's a little on the spring, the way the spring is made, as you can see at the end of this, it's like a little, you see how it's flat on this side? This side is flat, see that? And then this side has like a little circle on it, right? You see the circle? So it goes in that little circle, in that little hole, right? That's the spring. And but that's the spring. It's back in there. Now I like to kind of play around with it because it's been a while since I haven't taken this apart. So I just always want to make sure I inspect it and it's all in there the way it's supposed to be. I'm not forcing nothing, but it slides in there very smoothly. So as you can see, taking your gun apart, take your time, and if you want to take pictures of each step that you go through when you're taking your gun apart, like say you take this off and you want to take pictures to make sure you put everything back in the right place, hey, you can do that. You know, just, you know, use your best judgment, common sense, and I think that's good. And that's it. That's all to it. Now, I'm gonna place the slide back on to the actual gun, as you can see, and it's right here. So right here, it's right in here where this piece, it's right in here where this piece slides onto, locks into. So it's right there, right? Those little grooves. See how that's on there? Now, it's not locked on there yet, but it's on there now, right? Everything is in place. Now now you heard it. Now it's in place. Now let's test it. Now I'm gonna slide. There's no magazine in it, but I'm gonna slide. And there it is. See, it's that simple. Just put that back on. So every time you So I have some quizzes. What's the difference between a semi-automatic and automatic? Well, with handguns, right? An automatic handgun is a gun that keep firing as long as you hold the trigger, right? As long as you hold the trigger, the gun keeps shooting. Bow, 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 right? That's an automatic handgun. When you hold the trigger down and it's steady firing. Bow, 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 bow. Semi-automatic is a handgun that fires only when you pull the trigger. So every time you squeeze, it sends off a round. Pow, 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 pow. That's a semi-automatic. It only fires when you hit the trigger. Pow, pow. And once the gun is empty, this is the position it will be in. So the gun is designed to do a variety of things. When the gun is empty, when you have a magazine in the gun, right? Your magazine in the gun, right? And the gun is loaded, right? And in this magazine, there's 15 casings in this magazine, right? So after this magazine is empty, after all the casings been fired, then this is the position the gun would be in when there's no more ammo. So basically that's like the gun way indicating to you that I am empty. That's when you let all the rounds off from the magazine. So that's the difference between an automatic handgun and a semi-automatic. Automatics shoot non-stop as long as you hold the trigger. A semi-automatic only shoots when you pull in the trigger. Bow, bow, bow. That's the difference. The magazine is what goes into the gun. The clip is the spring that's inside the magazine. The clip is what holds the bullets inside the magazine. So the inside that holds the bullet is called the clip. Most people, I think that the magazine and the clip is the same thing. It's not. The clip is inside the magazine. That's what holds the rounds and the bullets or the casing inside the magazine. Now another thing I want to mention is anytime you shooting a gun, a handgun, and if for some reason your gun jam on you, because you know sometimes people when they're in a range and they practicing on shooting, the gun could jam for a variety of reasons. And if the gun jam, don't keep trying to shoot it, because it could possibly be a projectile, a bullet stuck inside the barrel. Hopefully you would never have that issue. Or maybe there's a bullet in the chamber and other bullets that's emerged outside of the clip. So you don't want none of that. So anytime you shooting, bow, 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 and it jams, stop shooting and inspect your gun. Don't keep trying to shoot. Now, guys, as far as a holster, there's a variety of accessories for gun carrying. This is a holster that I preferred. I have a variety of different holsters, and this is also for my mag, right? Now, the holster that I use, they have holsters that have the strap that comes over the gun, right? Now, this holster are designed to have retention. Retention is to not make it easy for someone to take the gun out, all right? Now, this one is a little worn out because I have had this holster for a while, but I'm using this just for training purpose to explain, right? This holster, it still works. Over time, when you first buy the holster, it's so tight, it's like you gotta almost use one hand to pull it out, right? But it's designed for a reason, for safety. So at a certain angle, when it's on your body, on your person, you can pull it out a lot easier than someone that may try and sneak up on you and pull it out, because from a certain angle, when a person try to sneak up behind you and pull it out, they wouldn't be able to really do it. It would be hard for them to do it because they trying to pull it out from a certain angle, and it's retention on it. So from a certain angle, it won't let you pull it out. But when I pull it out, because it's on my person and it's designed to come out for me because I'm at the right angle to pull it out like I need to, right? So I like this because, you know, if you in a stress situation, depending on you, on what type of training you have, if you have a holster that have the strap on it, now you have to take a little second or two to pop that, and some of those that pops in takes a little pressure to unpop it. So it depends on, if you don't forget to do that, you might be in a stress situation, forget you have a strap on it, and trying to pull it, can't pull it because of the strap on it. I like my holster to be free. That way I could just pull it out when I need to, right? There's nothing that's like stopping it from coming out other than me, right? So for me, this works for me. And then holsters are designed, again, to protect the gun. So if, as you can see, the trigger is covered, right? The trigger, right? It's inside the holster. It's covered. It covers the trigger. That way so it don't accidentally go off and you don't make no mistakes, right? Accidentally. Now I want to show you my utility belt, right? That I used, one of my belts I used when I was in the private protection industry. Now this, right, as you look at it, it's another one of my gun holsters. This one, see how, oh, there's so many. Actually, this one is designed to just go up and down, right? It's a little more sophisticated, right? This one here, it has like a, you push down on it, right? This is one of my other holsters, right? And this one, a little more sophisticated. You push down on it and it releases like that. I just didn't feel like taking this off of my utility belt because there's a lot of stuff on it, and it actually takes a little minute to get this off, right? So I didn't feel like taking all this off. So I wanted to show you, you know, this other holster. There's so many different type of holsters, but you got to pick what works for you and what you feel more comfortable with, right? But this particular one, when you put the gun inside, right, in this holster, and I want to do this from another angle. So now they have a variety of different types of like holsters that you can use to host your gun in. I mean, there's so many. Like I said, man, there's holsters. There's like shoulder holsters that you put strap on, and you have your gun like here. You have your gun like here. You know what I'm saying? You got shoulder holsters. You got holsters that go inside your waist. You know, females, they got holsters for females that go around a bra, and a female can have a holster right here in the middle of her bra. So if she want to draw, she can just do that. There's so many different types of styles and holsters, but you just gotta pick and do what's best for you, what's best fit for you, what you feel comfortable with, but as long as it's safe, right? So that's all type of accessories for gun carrying. The whole point is be safe, man. It's your boy Akeem, and I don't know, man. Again, stay respectful. If you got comments, man, just, you know, stay respectful. Stay positive, and please like, subscribe, and share it, man. And I just like sharing information. Thank you guys, man. Appreciate it. Your boy, I'm out.
Yeah, none of my cash can